Hey guys, Jimmy here and welcome to Dirt 4 for another video. Now, like a lot of people, after Dirt Rally, I was super looking forward to Dirt 4. I tried my best to get some early access. Unfortunately, I was denied that privilege, so I had to wait like the rest of you guys. And but finally got my hands on it, I think on Friday, I believe it was now. And had a nice long drive of it on the stream, which is actually available on my channel to watch back at the moment. Now, the clue to how this game is in the title. It is advertised as Dirt 4, not as Dirt Rally 2. Dirt Rally sort of came across as almost a bit of a tech demo at first, sort of showcasing what Codemasters could do if they fancied being their game being orientated to a more sim audience. The Dirt franchise, though, as a whole, has sort of been a bit of an arcadey game, especially Dirt 2 and Dirt 3, with that sort of dude bro atmosphere that a lot of people were not a fan of, but I'm glad to say it doesn't make a return in Dirt 4. So what I'm going to be doing today is driving a couple of different stages and a couple of different types of cars, so four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, that sort of thing, and give you guys my sort of first impressions of how this game feels. Now, since this stream where I sort of came across being a bit disappointed, I've done a bit of research into how to make the car sort of handle in a fashion that I enjoy a bit more, which involves some force feedback settings as well for the OSW, which I'll link below. If there are people out there also of an OSW who are interested in trying to get the wheel tweaked to give the best possible feedback. I've also taken a bit of advice on setup as well to try and get the car sliding a bit more. So we're going to start off with the front-wheel drive Opel Adam on the Spanish stages. So basically front-wheel drive on a tarmac stage. The reason why I've gone from the tarmac stage first is because in Dirt Rally, one of my biggest criticisms was how the car's handled on tarmac. So I think this would be a good place to start our comparison, or start my sort of first impressions of the driving anyway. So on the grid there, I should say, at the starting post I should say, I haven't got a handbrake mapped unfortunately, so no handbrake. I should be able to get through the stage anyway. Got my shift to the right here, and away we go off on our stage in our trusty front-wheel drive Opel Adam. Now, also to mention that I am having to run the graphics on a fairly low setting. Unfortunately, I do get a bit stuttering in this game when recording. I haven't found what that is yet, but hopefully you can forgive me for it as we get through the stage. So, first impressions, also you might notice, before I get into that, I'm using a slightly smaller wheel rim today. The OMT WRC Rally is a bit too big, I think, so I went ahead and purchased another one, which is a little bit smaller, so hopefully that should be a bit better for my experience anyway. And for this sort of tarmac stage, definitely feels a bit better, a little bit more, oh hello, a little bit more precision there. So, tarmac, first of all, there is actually feeling in the wheel in tarmac. In Dirt Rally, again, my biggest criticism of that game was the tarmac handling. It used to slide quite a lot, used to have a lot of issues getting the car to actually feel like it was connected to the road. But in this, there's a little bit more there. There's more grip there. It feels like you're actually driving on a tarmac surface. And overall, it's actually pretty decent. And in the front-wheel drive car as well, front-wheel drive cars, Actually, I actually really like front-wheel drive cars in Rally. I've got a soft spot for them. It feels pretty natural. You know, it's there is definitely an element of what feels like good feedback in the wheel. Of course, the settings below I've put in the description, so you can check those out for yourself if you do have an OSW. But driving it on the stage, it's I wouldn't say intuitive. It isn't the best thing I've ever driven on tarmac, but it's good enough to muddle through, as I would say. Muddle through is a little bit of a harsh way of putting it, but oh hello, bit of a kick there from the rear. Going downhill, you get a little bit more of a weight behind you going downhill, so you've got to be careful when braking. So we've got that down here now. See the big set of 11s there on the road where someone's gone off. Nice and easy through here. There we go, good. Oh, the steering does load up in a sort of semi-decent way. You sort of expect to feel a bit of loading here. I heard some people say that the force feedback is more just strength as opposed to detail, and I'm inclined to agree to an extent. There is detail there, it's just vague. It's a little bit vague. Oh, that's bad. Listen to your notes, Jimmy. See there, I think I should have crashed there, to be honest, but the game is a bit more forgiving in that sort of regard as opposed to Dirt Rally. Now, we'll be making that comparison a lot, of course, because Dirt Rally is the reason why a lot of people have bought Dirt 4, because they want to have that experience again, and we were expecting that sort of game mode with the simulation handling, which I'll get into a bit more as we get into the video. But coming up almost to the end of this stage now, very quick little stage here in Spain. But it's fun driving Zip Ladder around these stages. This is something that I enjoy about this game. I really do enjoy driving this front wheel drive Ladder around here. It's quite satisfying. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it means you've got to drive well and drive with momentum and across the line. And one of my favourite features of this game is this. You have to stop by the marshal. I mean, you can actually just pile through them and the game won't won't penalise you at all. But I think it's pretty cool you drive up to the marshal at the end of the stage, sort of give me a little thumbs up, say thanks mate, and get what's Dad got to say about our stage?
Okay, we're done. Standings have been updated.
Dad is indifferent. But that's Opel Adam, and that car is a lot of fun on tarmac. So what I'm going to do now, after driving this, is I'm going to go find a rear-wheel drive car and drive it on some gravel, because this is where I feel the game starts to let you down a little bit. Right then, so for rear-wheel drive, we're going to be using Wales. We're on a sort of a Welsh stage, which is loose gravel / mud. And we're going to be driving the most extreme example of a rear-wheel drive car in the game, the Lancia 037 Group B car. Now I'm going to make a couple of amendments here to the setup to make the car a little bit more slidey, a little bit more how I'd imagine the car to drive in real life. Of course, I'm saying that based on my impressions of how I think this car drives. I've never driven this car before, so before someone types in the comments, "Oh Jimmy, you're not a real racing driver, not a real racing driver," I know. But I think I have an idea of what the cars would drive like from sort of onboard footage and seeing them drive around stages from a TV camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fully lock the diff here to the rear, so all the way to the end, 63%. And I'm also going to firm up that rear anti-roll bar just to make the rear a little bit stiffer, and again get that rear end sliding a little bit more easy. So again then, on the starting grid, again no handbrake, sad boys. Get that clutch in, use that instead. Wait for the revs to rise, and away we go. Going to try and use the full, I guess, clutch setup here. I haven't got an edge pattern, but we'll pretend I have. And away we go then in the Lancia. Obviously a lot faster than our poor little Opel. Oh, already see sliding, big slide there. Can't wait to come round on me. Let's drop the focusing a bit here because this car, again, a bit more effort goes into driving this car than the old Opel. And yeah, again, if you watch my stream back from the other day, you might have noticed that I got quite frustrated. I couldn't see there, so I can slow down. I got quite frustrated when driving the Opel Kadett, which is not a Group B car, but it is a rear-wheel drive car. And I was driving that around and finding myself just not being able to slide at all. And I found that to be very, very frustrating. Now, admittedly, this is the first time I drove this car was today. So this is the first time I've driven the car, second gear out of there, that was bad. So I hadn't actually experienced this Group B car before today, but I'm glad I picked it up, because I was initially planning to use the Kadett and drive that through here to hammer home my point. But this car has a less grip, I would say. It's not quite where I'd expect it to be. It does get sideways, see that I'm having to sort of juggle the wheel a bit. Only a little bit though, not too massive. Hairpin right, where is that? So I'm a little bit edged on the pedals. It's been a while since I've done heel toe, so I'm sort of a bit rusty at the moment. Hopefully it will come back to me. Nice and easy through this section now. Of course, going through the forest, hit hairpin right. Where's that? I can hit here. There it is. Got my heel and toes bad at the moment, but we're getting there. It feels like a slightly dampened version of the version we had in Dirt Rally for a comparison. It feels like there are some sort of, driving aids there that are invisible, a bit like in the F1 games when you're using the controller. It feels a tiny bit like that. See, I'm not sure if that's correct or not. I'm just telling you my impression of it. Easy. Easy. Oh, but it's not easy though. It's not easy. It's far from easy. It is still difficult. It is still a bit of a challenge. Of course, those of you who've been sim racing long enough know that difficulty doesn't necessarily mean sim, and vice versa. But it's a nice challenge, and that's something that when I did my stream the other day, I felt myself lacking a bit. It was a bit of a challenge. I'll get around there. I can't actually see right now. It's quite dark and got a bit of sun on my screen, but just about to see where I'm going. Down, thank you. But oh, now that bit of a spin there. I was about to say that I'm missing the rawness a bit from this car. Also sounds a bit more muted compared to the Dirt Rally version. Of course, that's just comparing the car, of course, but let's say it's still a challenge. It is still very fast. It just, I don't know, it feels like it's been sort of had its edge just shaped away a little bit. A little bit of a more approachable experience. That wasn't a good stage. I came third though, which is okay. So, yeah, you know, I'm sort of... I still think the rear-wheel drive cars are where this game is let down the most. But after a couple of setup changes, they're a lot more drivable than the stock setups. And what I'm going to say, actually, while I'm here, whilst I'm sort of on the replay screen, is that the reason I heard for the cars being a little bit understeery is that the Codemasters, the setups, the base setups are made that way. And I actually looked at the differential setup for the 95 Impreza, which we know as a four-wheel drive car. And as standard, that car has 65% of the torque going to the front wheels and 35% to the rear wheels. I mean, my understanding is that is incorrect. It should be the other way around, to have a rearward bias to let the car oversteer a bit more. I understand that people want to sort of try and chase a neutral setup because it's safer. But my argument is that if you're choosing the simulation difficulty, you're looking for that extra challenge and then giving a sort of a setup which is too easy to drive, that is taking away from that simulation setting. If you want to have a setting where it's easy to drive, it's approachable, you can use a gamepad, then you have the gamer setting for that. Simulation setting doesn't need that sort of babying. Babying's a strong word for it, but I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. And finally, I'm going to talk about Rallycross. See, here we are in the Mini Clubman, probably the most horrendous looking Rallycross car available, so obviously I had to pick it. And I think Rallycross is where the most effort went into this game. It's no secret that both Peter Solberg and his son were very heavily involved in the development of the Rallycross here. And of course, this game being an official partner of the real-life Rallycross FIA World Rallycross Championship, whatever it's called, I think that's where a lot of the effort of the game has gone into. And that reflects in the way it drives. It just feels like a more evolved version of the Rallycross that we had in Dirt Rally. Right then, to show off the Rallycross, we are here at Liddon Hill, going to do a 4-lap race against AI on the hardest difficulty. We're in neutral, wait for the race to go, and... bad start there, but that's what I've got to do about a handbrake. So, some guys, or one guy taking the Joker straight away, in there, nice force C back there, coming into the first corner. Liddon Hill, I think my favourite Rallycross track. Look at all that dirt there coming off from the car in front. AI a little bit slow in a straight line, it seems. Apparently this is a bug that Codemasters are aware of, but doesn't detract from the fun of the driving of this thing. Gearing so close together, up to 6th already, then back down the second gear, try and get it in nicely, that the car steering open a little bit. Oh, don't go into the pitch, Jimmy! Rallycross! And 4th gear, get it in nice and tight on the throttle, power, 5th, 6th, aim for the curb, don't touch it, aim for that curb, nice and easy. We're going to take the Joker this lap. So we're going to go off to the left now. I'm always really bad at this Joker, can never get the apex right. There it is. God, that was clumsy, wasn't it? So we are through still. We're ahead of Mr. Gronholm, who has taken the lap. So we're actually sort of semi-leading this race, if you look at it that way. 4th seat back is nice for here again. There's a bit more detail than I expected in Dirt Rally. You know when the wheels are starting to spin up. Of course, this being a 4-wheel drive car, lots of power. Very easy to spin all 4 wheels if you're not careful. Just boost out of there, nice. Having to lead again. Of course, I say I'm on the hardest difficulty. I'm told apparently there's a difficulty level above what I'm on now, but you have to get to a certain level to unlock it. So I'm on the tough AI difficulty as opposed to the master, whatever the hell it is, the top AI is. But I guess I've got to play the game a bit more, although I'm like level 20 something, so I'm not too low. I think so anyway. Anyway, but you can see that AI, unfortunately, at the moment are not much of a match, which is a bit of a shame because given this game puts such an emphasis on Rallycross, if there's a bug that the guys are slow in a straight line, I'd expect something like that to be picked up by Codemasters, you know, seeing how much effort they've put into this, but apparently not. Apparently us PC plebs don't get that luxury. I'm not sure if it's the same on consoles or not. We're going to come round to do one more lap, but the thing is, the driving with things actually very comparable, if not better, than Dirt Rally. I'm really impressed with how the Rallycross cars drive. Well, the Rallycross, I say the Rallycross, these Rallycross cars. The 1600 and the Group B, not quite as good to drive. The Group B actually is quite bad, in my opinion. But the actual proper Rallycross supercars are really quite a positive experience. And a good development from Dirt Rally. As you can see, we have absolutely trounced the field because they're at literally nowhere at this point in our Mini Clubman, our 5-story Mini Clubman. And the last corner for the last time, 5th gear maybe, no, 4th gear is where I should be. And across the line to, for once, be victorious. Nice. So right then, to sum up my thoughts on Dirt 4 at this stage, as I mentioned before, my biggest gripe with this is the handling of the rear-wheel drive cars. They just don't quite feel leery enough for me at this point. They feel better now that I've adjusted my force feedback settings and also played with the setup. They feel better because initially I was really quite disappointed, but now I'm just sort of, I'm sort of middling on it at the moment. But it would be nice to have a bit of an upgrade there. It sort of feels like how Dirt Rally initially felt, where all the cars had too much downforce and they were just stuck to the road. It feels a bit like that, but I'm not an expert on physics. Again, I'll say, for the sake of people still typing comments at me not driving a real rally car, I've never driven any of these cars before in real life, and I'll be very lucky to if I ever do get that opportunity. But I'm saying my opinions and my thoughts come from previous games and how I think the cars would handle in real life. But will I recommend Dirt 4 in this state to people who are a sim audience, which is the majority of you guys? I don't really know. I'd say personally maybe hold off a bit and see if there are any updates to the handling in the rally stuff, but there is still fun there to be had if you don't mind maybe sacrificing that little bit of simulation value. But guys, hope you enjoyed that video. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to hit that like button, and if you really enjoyed it, hit subscribe to be notified of future videos. Nearly at 14k now, guys, which is ridiculous, so thank you all for your continued support. Take care, guys, have an awesome day. See you all next time.